Good day, learners. Previously, we discussed about the function and purpose of communication. But here on, let's talk about speech context and its types. Have you ever tried contemplating and communicate with yourself? How did you find your conversation with another person? Have you talked with a small group and shared your ideas and insights? What about in public? These situations where communication activities happened are called speech context. When we say speech context, it refers to the situation where communication occurs. Knowing speech context and its type tells you who the receiver is and what importance to place onto something, what assumptions to draw or not on what is being communicated, and most importantly, it puts meaning to the message. First, let's have intrapersonal context. It is the communication with oneself, where the communicator is both the sender and the receiver of the message. So basically, it is a type of communication that centers on one person. And the message is made up of your thoughts and feelings. The channel is your brain, which processes what you are thinking and feeling. Here an example. You spend the night thinking and analyzing why a student from the other class talked to you on the way home, and you decided it probably meant nothing. Also, you felt happy about how your teacher appreciated you for submitting your project before the due date, and you reflected on why this was so. Notice in the examples that the person referred to is trying to communicate with his or herself, contemplating what just happened. Also, for another example, there is a communication between the person and his or herself. Now that is an intrapersonal context. Next, interpersonal. This type of communication occurs between two or more people who exchange information, feelings, and meanings using verbal and nonverbal messages. This type of communication is between and among people and establishes personal relationship. According to some linguists, they stated that the word inter emphasizes how people connect, and personal refers to the unique qualities of a person during the communication. There are types of interpersonal context. First, we have the dyad communication. It occurs between two people. For example, you provided a comfort to a friend who was feeling down. Then that is a dyad communication. As for the small group, it involves at least 3 but not more than 12 people engaging in a face-to-face interaction to achieve desired goal. All participants can freely share their ideas in a loose and open discussion. For example, you are having a discussion with your group mates on how to finish the assigned task. Now that's for the types of interpersonal context. We also have public. This happens when the person is engaged in a dialogue before or in front of the audience. The speaker's voice is louder and the gestures are more expansive because the audience is bigger. Additional visual channels like slides or a PowerPoint presentation may also be used for the audience to better understand the speech. Now I have here some examples. You deliver a graduation speech to your batch, and you participate in a declamation, a rhetorical or debate contest watched by a number of people. Now notice in the example that the person or speaker referred to is trying to communicate with or talk with a large crowd. Then these are examples of public speech context. We also have mass communication. Mass communication, it uses media to large segments of the population through television, radio, newspapers, magazines, books, billboards, internet, and other types of media. Now, we can say that mass communication is a process whereby media organizations produce and transmit messages to large publics. I have here an example. A politician is interviewed live on television about his stand on anti-terrorism law. And another one, a student's post on Facebook looking for her biological parents went viral. Notice in the examples that the person or speaker referred to is trying to communicate with a large public by using media. Then, we can say that these two are examples of mass communication. So that's all for our lesson. I hope you learned something from me today. This is your teacher, Teacher Jai. Thank you and see you again.